For an atmosphere like that, week one, to bring everybody together was great for our team, and I think it made a huge difference in the fourth quarter.
Your weekend on Spectrum News 1 begins with the Ohio State Buckeyes kicking off its title defense with a big win. Hello, and thanks for joining us for your weekend on Spectrum News 1. I'm Imani Payne. Ohio State matched up against #1 Texas Saturday. It was a rematch of last year's Cotton Bowl, where the Buckeyes were able to pull away in the fourth quarter to move on to the national championship game. Coming up, what it took for OSU to come out of that matchup on top. Plus, Labor Day weekend is here, and the weekend is bringing a record number of travelers out to airports. Ahead, a look at one of the busiest travel days of the year. And the first week of the college football season for the Buckeyes is complete. OSU beating the Texas Longhorns in the shoe Saturday afternoon. Our Andy Baskin and Antonio Pittman join us to break down what it took for Ohio State to beat the #1 ranked team in the country.
It was a battle of giants.
And some good news for those hitting the road this holiday weekend. Gas hasn't been this low on a Labor Day since 2020. Across the country, prices are expected to average $3.15 per gallon this year. Here in Ohio, today's average price is a bit higher, sitting at $3.25 a gallon. According to AAA, drivers in and around the 3 Cs are paying close to $3.30. Some of the cheapest gas in the state is found in far western Ohio along the Indiana border. Millions of Americans are hitting the roads and the skies to get to their destination this Labor Day weekend. And as Chris Welch reports, lower prices may be helping people enjoy the last big weekend of the summer.
Yeah, we're here for the end of the summer. Stacked up.
And taking a live look over downtown Columbus following the Buckeyes' big win, we're also keeping an eye on the weather outlook for your Labor Day weekend. It's a little cooler than normal this weekend. Meteorologist Joe Astolfi is here with more. And Joe, what are you seeing out there? Will folks be able to head outdoors this holiday weekend?
Well, hey there, Imani. Yeah, we've got some picture-perfect weather. Couldn't have worked out any better here around the state of Ohio.
Plus, one man deciding to self-deport amid rising immigration tensions across the U.S. Coming up next, this Harvard graduate taking matters into his own hands. New details on the Minneapolis school shooting. Police say the shooter was wearing a mask and body armor for the attack. Police recovering several magazines and unused rounds. Investigators say the 23-year-old shooter allegedly killed 2 children and hurt dozens of people at the Annunciation Catholic School. They say the shooter had, quote, some deranged fascination with other mass shootings. Investigators say they also found a manifesto on YouTube and some writings that they call disturbing.
It's going to be hard to hear, but it's important to the question of why this happened. More than anything, the shooter wanted to kill children, defenseless children.
Police are still looking into his motives, but they believe he wanted to gain notoriety. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has applied for asylum in the U.S. Legal experts say it's a good strategy, but that it could be risky. While it gives Garcia's lawyers better options for fighting the efforts to deport him, if the judge rules against the application, he could end up right back inside of the El Salvador prison. Garcia claims he was beaten and mentally tortured there when the administration first deported him in March. The Trump administration says they deported Garcia because he was an MS-13 gang member. Garcia denies the allegation and has not been charged for it. He's currently awaiting trial for human smuggling charges. As immigration raids continue across the country, fear seeping into immigrant communities is leading many to make the decision to self-deport. This as the federal government is also pushing for undocumented immigrants to leave on their own. Arvania Patino has more on the challenges people making this decision face and what immigration attorneys are saying.
Having lived in the U.S.,
affording a place to lay your head and raise your children is becoming more difficult. Up next, local leaders sharing a plan to address the housing shortage in this Ohio community. A community in Northeast Ohio is often recognized as an affordable and great place to live in the Buckeye State, but several factors, including rising rent, is contributing to a housing shortage in Summit County. Our Rose Todd speaking with one organization about how to solve this housing crisis.
We believe that housing is a human right.
I'm Imani Payne, and here's your Spectrum News in 90. Ohio State's title defense started with a win. The Buckeyes beat #1 ranked Texas at home 14-7. The team will stay at home for the next 2 weeks for games against Grambling State and Ohio before going on the road to play Washington. OSU's Wexner Medical Center experiencing a network outage Friday. Officials say this was caused by issues that took place during a routine network upgrade. Engineers are working to restore services. Despite the outage, outpatient care sites are open. Columbus Public Health extending hours for school vaccines in September. Hours will be extended from September 12th to 17th. The health department says all K-12 students must be up to date on required vaccines to attend school. You can see the extended hours by visiting their Facebook page. The city of Dublin launching a campaign to make people living there healthier. The city is launching a wellness alliance, teaming up with dozens of public, private, and nonprofit organizations to launch the alliance. The goal of the alliance to strengthen the community's health, education, resources, access, and connections. And court documents indicate a Delaware County judge has ruled the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium must pay a $1 surcharge on each admission ticket. Liberty Township says the fee will help cover fire and EMS runs to the zoo. And that's your Spectrum News in 90. While auto workers continue to strike across the country, Ohio Union Federation AFL-CIO is looking to fan the flame of workers' rights. More than 600 GE Aerospace workers in Evendale began striking Wednesday night when their contracts with the company expired. Workers called the last contract offer from the company, quote, insulting. It offered about $29,000 in additional compensation to workers for the 3-year contract, alongside increases in paid time off and sick leave. Senate candidate and Democrat Sherrod Brown says he visited that picket line before joining the Union Federation's celebration of Labor Day Saturday.
This fight is just as important today as it ever was. As the labor movement's under duress, as civil rights is under duress, as Medicare is under duress, as Social Security is under duress, as worker rights, whether they're federal workers or whether they're teachers or whether they're healthcare workers or whether they're industrial workers, all this is under duress. Because you all know, if you love this country, you fight for the people who do.
The UAW is an affiliate of the AFL-CIO. The strike will likely continue this week unless negotiators can come to an agreement. Ohio Department of Health data shows there were roughly 4,500 unintentional overdose deaths in 2023. Reporter Corey O'Leary has the story of those in Cleveland who have made it their mission to educate the public about this issue in hopes of reducing that number of overdose deaths.
August 31st marks International.
If you have leftover medication from a medical procedure or a change in treatment, doctors advise getting rid of the medication rather than keeping it in the cabinet at home. You can find drug disposal boxes at most pharmacies and law enforcement offices. You can find a map of those locations online at pharmacy.ohio.gov. Hospitals and law enforcement agencies also host drug take-back events at different times throughout the year. You can bring your unused medications to those events as well. The FDA says you should not throw drugs away in the trash or flush them down the drain. These days, just about everywhere you look, you can see the influence of artificial intelligence in how we receive and store information. For many, it's a helpful way to cut down on time and allows a person to zero in on what's really important. One area we're seeing AI come into play is in the medical field. Spectrum News 1 reporter Elise Underwood goes in depth to show how it's changing pediatric care at one hospital in the Buckeye State.
Hey, here we go.
Data shows that cases of Lyme disease remain high in Ohio. The disease is an illness that's typically caused by a bacteria carried in ticks. That disease is then transferred through tick bites. As of Wednesday, there were over 1,500 reported cases of Lyme disease. Most of those cases were reported in the eastern half of the state. To prevent tick bites, health leaders suggest avoiding areas where ticks live, using insect repellents, and wearing long pants, sleeves, and socks while outside. Continuing our coverage of the Browns' proposed move to Brook Park. Next, the potential challenges the city could face with the new stadium and how city leaders plan to address it. The Browns' proposed move to Brook Park will mean a host of changes for the suburb. Our Nora McEwen sat down with the mayor to learn more about how he plans to address increased public safety needs that come with an NFL stadium.
Brook Park Mayor Edward Orcutt.
Continuing to follow one of our top stories tonight, the Ohio State Buckeyes beat #1 ranked Texas Saturday afternoon in Columbus. Over 107,000 people packed Ohio Stadium for the matchup. This was the fourth time the team at the top of the Associated Press poll played the previous season's national champion in its season opener. And every time the defending champion has won that game. With the win, Ohio State can move up in the AP polls. That will come out at 2 in the afternoon on Sunday. And taking to the sky in Northeast Ohio. Ahead, we speak with the Cleveland Air Show pilots who explain to us the journey behind their iconic performances. And the largest festival in Northeast Ohio is in full swing this weekend. Cleveland's Oktoberfest draws more than 100,000 visitors every year with beer, music, food, and lots of fun. The festival continues Sunday starting at noon and lasting until midnight. You can catch wiener dog races, beer sign holding contest, and a 5K over the course of the festival. It's at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds and Event Center, and it offers free parking to visitors. Members of the military and veterans get in for free on Labor Day. In Northeast Ohio, one airport is continuing their annual Labor Day celebration, inviting some of the world's most skilled aviation experts to show off their skills at the Cleveland Air Show. Our Tanya Velasquez spoke to some of this year's pilots who say each air trip tells a story. The news continues on Spectrum News 1. After the break, we'll continue our coverage of Ohio State's big win over #1 Texas and also take a look at the Labor Day weekend forecast. We'll be right back.
This check of the time presented by Spectrum.
I'm Imani Payne, and here's your Spectrum News in 90. Ohio State's title defense started with a win. The Buckeyes beat #1 ranked Texas at home 14-7. The team will stay at home for the next 2 weeks for games against Grambling State and Ohio before going on the road to play Washington. OSU's Wexner Medical Center experiencing a network outage Friday. Officials say this was caused by issues that took place during a routine network upgrade. Engineers are working to restore services. Despite the outage, outpatient care sites are open. Columbus Public Health extending hours for school vaccines in September. Hours will be extended from September 12th to 17th. The health department says all K through 12 students must be up to date on required vaccines to attend school. You can see the extended hours by visiting their Facebook page. The city of Dublin launching a campaign to make people living there healthier. The city is launching a wellness alliance, teaming up with dozens of public, private, and nonprofit organizations to launch the alliance. The goal of the alliance is to strengthen the community's health, education, resources, access, and connections. And court documents indicate a Delaware County judge has ruled the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium must pay a $1 surcharge on each admission ticket. Liberty Township says the fee will help cover fire and EMS runs to the zoo. And that's your Spectrum News in 90.